It was 2012, and the Wii was breathing its last. While most of the gaming world had already turned its eyes toward HD consoles and the next-gen promises and all that good stuff, a quiet masterpiece landed on Nintendo's aging hardware, fittingly called The Last Story. Developed by Mistwalker and helmed by none other than Hironobu Sakaguchi, father of Final Fantasy, this wasn't just a JRPG. It was a farewell, a swan song, and in many ways, the last great game on the Wii. The Last Story remarked the reunion of two titans of the genre, Hironobu Sakaguchi on direction and Nobuo Uematsu on composition. Together they sought to make something different, not just a throwback to the golden era of JRPGs, but an evolution of the form. Developed by Mistwalker in collaboration with AQ Interactive and published by Nintendo, the game had a modest budget, but massive ambition. Sakaguchi wanted to streamline the JRPG experience while maintaining emotional depth. The goal was to tell a more intimate story without sacrificing scale. The result was a game that felt personal and grand all at once, a balance rarely struck, especially in the waning days of the Wii. Set on Lazulus Island, a war-torn but visually striking landmass dominated by its namesake city and an imposing castle, The Last Story is steeped in political intrigue and personal longing. You play as Zael, a mercenary with dreams of knighthood, whose fate becomes entwined with a mysterious power and a runaway princess named Callista. Unlike many JRPGs that sprawl across continents and dimensions, The Last Story keeps its focus tight. Most of the story takes place in and around Lazulus City, which helps build a strong sense of place and community. The story blends medieval drama, star-crossed romance, and philosophical musings about fate and freedom. It's not the most original tale, but it's told with heart and clarity. There is a reason these types of stories are told time and again across history. They always resonate and always impart some wisdom on the viewer or reader or player. Where The Last Story truly shines is its cast. Zael is a solid protagonist, earnest without being bland, but it's the ensemble that elevates the game. From cheeky, lovable Dagran to the aloof mage Yurik and the fiery Siren, every character in your party feels essential. Their banter during battles, their moments at the tavern, and their small personal story arcs build a believable, lived-in camaraderie. The sense of fellowship is reminiscent of the original Final Fantasy games, where character bonds were just as important as the world-ending stakes. The game never forgets that, at its heart, it's about people trying to find their place in a broken world. Sakaguchi's desire to push the genre forward is most evident in the combat system, which I love the combat in this game. The Last Story combines real-time action with tactical elements in a way that was strikingly fresh for the time. You can move Zael freely, take cover, and issue commands to party members mid-battle. A unique mechanic called Gathering allows Zael to draw enemy attention, functioning basically like an aggro magnet and giving other characters space to execute their own abilities. Terrain and positioning matter, and later systems like manually aiming crossbow shots and timing-based special moves add further complexity and depth. It's a pretty bold combat system, and while it can feel chaotic or underbaked in places, it's packed with ambition and delivers some genuinely memorable encounters. Boss fights in particular feel dynamic and theatrical, often requiring creative solutions and making good use of your abilities and surroundings. Despite the Wii's dated hardware, The Last Story looks incredible still. The art direction favors earthy tones and gothic architecture, giving the game a grounded but majestic feel. Lazulus City is especially impressive, a labyrinth of alleys and shops and hidden corners that reward exploration. And there's Nobuo Uematsu's score, and gone are these sweeping high fantasy themes of Final Fantasy past. Instead, the soundtrack leans intimate, often melancholic, with flashes of grandeur when it counts. I think it's one of his most mature works, serving the story rather than overpowering it. And not that he ever does that, but it can be easy to have the score just overpower a narrative. The main theme alone is enough to stir memories of lost love, shattered ideals, and hopeful new beginnings. At launch, The Last Story was met with largely positive reviews from critics. Praise centered on its innovative battle system, heartfelt characters, and emotional storytelling. While some reviewers noted its technical limitations and occasionally clunky camera, most agreed that Sakaguchi had crafted something pretty special. It was frequently described as a bold experiment, a JRPG that respected tradition while daring to evolve it. Commercially, the game found moderate success in Japan and Europe, but its late release and the Wii's kind of declining relevance in North America meant it never really became a breakout hit. Still, fan enthusiasm was strong enough to drive a pretty successful grassroots campaign, Operation Rainfall. It's a real thing that helped bring the game to Western audiences alongside Xenoblade Chronicles and Pandora's Tower. Just sounds like some covert, clandestine mission by gamers. Among fans of JRPGs and Sakaguchi's legacy, The Last Story remains a cult classic. It's often remembered fondly in retrospectives and lists as one of the Wii's most underappreciated gems, if not its very best. Its DNA can be felt in later RPGs that blend action and tactics, and in the way it humanizes its party with grounded personal stakes. For all its heart, though, The Last Story isn't perfect. It's not without flaws. The camera can be finicky in tight corridors. Some combat encounters kind of just devolve into a cluttered, chaotic mess. And while the English voice cast is generally strong, a few performances feel a little stiff or misdirected, or maybe they just didn't have enough time to record and work with. The budget was small, after all. The game's ambition sometimes stretched beyond what the Wii could comfortably deliver, resulting in inconsistent frame rates and muted textures. But these are very, very, very minor blemishes on an otherwise rich and unique experience. What makes The Last Story stand out isn't just its systems or settings. For me personally, it's the sincerity. Every part of the game feels handcrafted and heartfelt. It's a love letter to a genre Sakaguchi helped create, but also a challenge to it, asking whether these old forms could be made new again. It respects your time and offers a tight 20-25 hour-ish experience, so it definitely doesn't overstay its welcome. In an era of bloated RPGs, and trust me, this is getting into the era of super bloated video games, period. That kind of brevity is and was refreshing. The focus on character dynamics and evolving gameplay mechanics keeps the pace brisk, yet emotionally resonant. So, The Last Story didn't ignite a new franchise or completely redefine the genre, but that was never its goal, I don't think. It was a final word from a master storyteller, and for many it hit like a goodbye letter. In a sense, it was Sakaguchi's last great console RPG, a spiritual bookend to his Final Fantasy legacy, and it was definitely the Wii's final exhale. One last great epic before Nintendo moved on. While Xenoblade Chronicles may have stolen the spotlight, The Last Story held its ground with elegance, creativity, and undeniable heart. For those who missed it, it remains one of the most rewarding hidden gems of the 2010s. And for those who played it, there's a good chance you still think about that main theme, that city, and that band of mercenaries. Because The Last Story isn't just a title, it's a memory, and it's worth remembering. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in if you made it this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll take you just a second. Just a teeny tiny second. I'm very appreciative. Now, I really wish, and it's probably not going to happen, I would love for this game to get remastered, because we are in the age of remasters and re-releases, and if you can do Xenoblade Chronicles X, can you throw the last story in there, maybe? Nintendo, Mistwalker, please? Do you guys want to see the last story updated with some, like better controls, better camera, kind of just like all the modern amenities that comes with gaming in 2025? Would you guys like to see that? Because I know that this game is like, sometimes I do this, I'll admit it. Like, I use the term, oh, it's a hidden gem a lot. And I do mean it sincerely, because a lot of these games are hidden gems to me, but it's also kind of hard to speak for everybody. So maybe it seems like a hidden gem to me, but maybe it's not to you. I think we can all agree, if we're watching this, that this game is the hidden gem of hidden gems. It's like the biggest hidden gem of the JRPG community, because I don't hear anybody talking about this game. It came and it went, and it didn't have the impact that Xenoblade Chronicles did. It didn't spawn a franchise, you know what I mean? It just kind of came quietly. It sounded so fucking dirty. It just arrived quietly, and then it kind of had its time, and then it was gone, and that was it. And the only reason I even remembered this game is because I was doing the video that's probably already out now by the time I'm recording this, is my Xenoblade Chronicles X retrospective, and I remember they came out at almost the same time, and that's the only reason I even remember this. Even I forgot about it. So yeah, I'm rambling. Did you guys forget about this game? Let me know some good memories of yours, because there's just something about a Sakaguchi JRPG, the Nobuo Uematsu score, that cannot be replicated in the JRPG space. And there are great JRPGs, all-time great JRPGs, that are not made by these two or have any involvement with these two, but they have a special something about them, and I gotta think about it and make a video about it. But let me know if you guys feel that feeling too when you play the last story. Again, I appreciate you guys. I would appreciate a subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. Have an amazing day, and God bless.